Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 32 of my podcast. It is the one with Paige the Framer, and I am Paige Miller, your host. Thanks for joining me. I want to welcome back all of my viewers and also welcome any first-time viewers. I hope if you are new to this podcast that you enjoy it, you find something that you can connect with, and become part of this community here, because if I don't say so myself, we've got a pretty cool community. So I hope you enjoy and again find your place here. It would be so cool to welcome you and to get to know you. That's one thing I do like about this podcast. I have really connected with a lot of you, either through comments below or Ravelry or Instagram, and then meeting so many of you at the different fiber festivals and fiber events that have been local or that I've traveled to. So it's really nice to know so many of you. So thanks for joining. All right, so today is November 5th, the 5th of November. I'm drinking some tea, which is local to me. It is made by the Asbury Park Roasters. Is it made by them? Well, I don't know if it's made by them, but it's sold by them, and it's Mexican chocolate, and it is delicious, and it's more caffeine. I've had quite a bit of caffeine today because it's Monday, and Monday mornings I meet a group of knitters at a local coffee shop. It's called Turnstile Coffee in Belmar, New Jersey, and we knit, and I had a cup of coffee there, and I had a cup of coffee in the morning, and now I'm drinking this. Ooh, that's a lot of caffeine. Ooh, you can tell it's a lot of caffeine because I just didn't need to tell you any of that. Oh my gosh. I'm drinking it out of a mug made by Paul Miller. Yep, that's right. He's not just the cutest boy in America, but he's a pretty cool potter too. All right. None of that was necessary. So, what am I wearing? This is my Suburban Wrap pattern by Hohi Locatelli and yarns by, let's see if I can point this out to you. The whitish variegated, or the speckled white, is made by Legacy Fiber Arts. This green and purpley beautiful yarn is made by Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and then this gorgeous purpley mauvey color is dyed by, I was gonna say Squirrel Pie Productions, not Squirrel Pie Productions, Moonstone Dye Works. 3 yarns that I absolutely love, and 3 women who inspire me to be better. So I love this shawl. I love everything about it. That's all I need to say, right? I feel like I'm a little out of sorts because it's been almost a month since I've recorded anything. So getting back into talking to a camera, it's a little weird. All right, so let's talk about some things that will be happening in the near future. As always, on Tuesday evenings, I host Knit Night at the Frame Shop. Did I say, by the way, that I own Frame and Fiber? It is a picture framing and yarn shop in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I don't know if I said that, but that's the shop that I own, and I host Knit Night there Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. And Tuesday, November 13th is going to be a special knit night because the sister duo of Toad Hollow Yarns, Toad Hollow Yarns? Toad Hollow, just Toad Hollow. Mary Beth and Helen of Toad Hollow, also known as the Crafty Toads here on YouTube, they are taking over Knit Night. So they will be hosting. We're going to do a trivia and yummy food and drinks and knitting and tons of laughing and shenanigans, because when I get together with them, pretty much shenanigans ensue. So I hope you can join us for that on the 13th. It's going to be a great event. We definitely will have prizes for trivia winners and all that good stuff. So join us. I have some trunk shows coming up, including one for Toad Hollow. So I will be hosting their trunk show on Saturday, September 24th. Nope, not September 24th. Oh my gosh, guys. The Toad Hollow Trunk Show will be on Saturday, November 24th at 11 a.m. It'll go all day at the shop. I will be open till 4. So stop in, see all of their brandy new yarns and brandy new bags that they will have with them. I'm excited to have them there twice in 1 month. And then upcoming in December, I will be hosting a trunk show for Woolfiend Yarn Company. Woolfiend Yarn Company? Yarn and Fiber. Woolfiend Yarn and Fiber. Keep an eye out for those things. You can check my website for information about any of the trunk shows or events coming up. So also coming up the 15th of November, which is next week. Next week is the deadline for the hats that we are making together for the Little Lungs campaign, which is bringing awareness to RSV. This is going to crinkle. This is the kits that I had put together back in September. And a lot of you, thank you so much for requesting a kit and for getting your hats back to me. These little hats are due back November 15th so that we can get the bulk of the hats off to littlelungs.com so that they can distribute the hats to all of the NICUs that they work with. This RSV is a virus that affects children and infants, and in super small preemies it can be fatal. So yeah, awareness. These little hats, I mean, this is my fist. My fist fits in there. It's a really small little hat. These are specifically made for preemies, so they are very tiny hats. And look at this cute one. I did not make this one. This is one of the knitters. Or, no, it's not. It's a crocheter. So this little hat took me, gosh, I'm going to say an hour to make. They don't take much time. So if you, I don't think there's time for me to get any more kits out to you in the mail. So if you're local and would like to stop by the shop to pick one up, go for it, because it won't take long to make the hat. We still have plenty of time to make a lot of hats. A week is plenty of time to make one of these little baby hats. But if you are not local to me and you have either this minty green or that salmony pink color in your stash of yarn, it must be, it can be any weight yarn, but the fibers have to be synthetic man-made, because these are for little baby preemies who's, I mean, some of these babies, their skin hasn't even formed all the way, so they can't have any animal fiber in them. They can be cotton, and they can be any type of synthetic. So those two colors, if you have any of that in your stash and would like to make a preemie hat to ship it off to me by the 15th, that would be great. I've got a bunch of hats back already, which I'm so thankful for. Thank you guys so much. I am doing this, so it's through littlelungs.com. That's the organization, but Mary, who is the organizer for RAKS, which is RAKS of Hope NJ. It's Random Acts of Kindness, New Jersey. And she is the one coordinating this. So when I get all these hats together, Mary then will make sure that they're all packaged and shipped out to Little Lungs. So thank you, Mary, for all of your help and for organizing this yet again. She's amazing. So that is that. And then there's another opportunity if you would like to knit for your community or our community, or if you would like to knit for awareness. Ellen, who is KnitbyaLefty on Instagram, and I believe that's her YouTube as well, but I will double check that. Anyway, Ellen, who is KnitbyaLefty, is or has begun a campaign to support, she's organizing makers of any medium, organizing all of us to make Stars of David, or Jewish stars with hearts on them, which then she will send to her daughter, who lives in Pittsburgh and who attends the Tree of Life congregation. For, if you're not aware of, October 27th, there was the mass shooting at that synagogue. During services, people were killed. It's devastated their community, and we want to show them some love and support, and that we're thinking of them and praying for them. So if you would like to get involved in this campaign, there is a Facebook group called Jewish Hearts for Pittsburgh. If you will search out that group and you can join it, in that group you'll get all of the information on what to make and where to send it and when to send it by. I believe they want all of the stars into them by the 15th as well, so that they can get the hearts hung up around the community of synagogue, or the Tree of Life synagogue in their surrounding area by Thanksgiving. So that way we can really show them our love and support and unity for them during this really difficult time in their community. So I did mine, and I'll insert either a small picture or a small video or a picture here. That star right there is a needle punch embroidery that I did. It was leftover scraps that I had from another project that I did back in September. So it was a great way to, you know, use up my stash and to give some love to the people in Pittsburgh. Oh, and then also coming up, or not coming up, happening now and throughout this quarter, if you go to preemie /learn, you will find all of the class information for this last quarter of 2018. We have a bunch of classes going on right now, and they're filling up. I didn't think we'd get as many this quarter as in other times, just because of the holidays and everyone, you know, not being able to take a class the week of Christmas or the week of Thanksgiving. So there are some spaces left in some of the classes. I just did a mitten class, the Sumbo mitten class, on Friday night, and we had a blast. It was a really good group. So yeah, if you're local and interested in taking classes, check that out. And if you don't see a class on there that you know, that you're looking for, and there's something specific that you'd like to learn, shoot me an email and I can see if I can make that happen. And then last but not least is the virtual knit nights with me. So I've had a couple of you, the last podcast I asked if anyone would want to volunteer to help me host them, and a couple of you reached out and said you'd be interested in helping me. So I'm really thankful for you guys and for your help, and I will be contacting you very soon to work up a schedule to get that going so that we can have a weekly, I'm hoping to have a weekly virtual knit night for all of us. So stay tuned to that. And again, if this is new information to you and you would like to either join the virtual knit night or help host a virtual knit night, you can check out the Facebook group. It's called VKNs with Paige the Framer on Facebook. So search that title and you can find us there and join the group. Is that it? I think that's it. All right, I feel like I'm talking way too much already, and I haven't even gotten to the meat of this episode, so whew. So let's recap. This past month, a lot has happened, but the major two things that have happened was my vacation with Paul Miller, which not too much talk about because Paul Miller and I did not leave the house that we rented. We were up in Chazy Lake, New York, which is, I think it's about 6.5 hours from my house, and it's about 1.5 hours from Montreal. So we were up there and we were in the mountains and we had snow flurries every day, and it was cozy and lovely, and we got lots of knitting done and lots of resting. It was a really great vacation and much needed, because I've been, that month or so before, I was really kind of running myself thin, kind of burning it at both ends. And it was right on the heels of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival and Needles Up. So I was definitely tired by the time we got to that house. Needles Up was so wonderful. I'm going to insert some pictures here for you to see. Guys, thank you so much for coming to Needles Up and for supporting all of us there. It was so cool. I love that I get to say us, like I was a part of it. Selling my picture frames and my picture mats there were just so great. You guys, the reception was unreal, and you guys played with my big huge giant knitting mat, and that was really cool. I was so excited that you guys took so many pictures and posted them on all of your social media, so thanks so much. It was so cool. I will definitely use that big giant frame again for photo ops. In fact, I'll probably use it at the knit night with the Toad Hollow. So yeah, that was really cool. Thank you so much. And like I said, it was really just so wonderful to be a part of that maker community and that vendor community. All of those people are just so talented. Sue and Chelsea are just so generous with they're just generous. They're just lovely, and inviting me to be a part of it is, well, it was just pretty cool. So thank you, ladies. I did buy a ton of stuff when I was at Needles Up. Which is kind of funny because it's just funny. I'm not going to show you anything. Am I? No. I did buy my Tuft woolens, but my soap, my wool wash, and a bar of soap for Paul Miller's stocking. I think that's, yeah, I'm not going to really talk too much about what I bought at Needles Up because it's things that I'll be using at later times. I plan on spinning with the fiber that I bought from Classy Squid, and my, oh, well, I can show you my new bag from the Fat Squirrel. And I bought pottery from Doghouse Pottery Works. So yeah, and yarn, of course. Of course. So I will talk about that stuff later, but I do just thank you all for coming out and supporting. It was lovely to put so many names to, or no, faces to names. It was great. And I will, like I said, a little snippet of a video and some pictures here. Hey pals, I'm in the hotel with just Joan back there. We are getting ready to leave for the day. Wait, why am I turning away from you? You're back there. We are going to
Needles Up.
Yeah, Needles Up. We're gonna go to breakfast, and then we're gonna go get ready, and
then we'll go back to our house.
Today is Rhinebeck Eve. Is that what today is? It's Rhinebeck Eve.
Today is hanging our great house with our great pals day.
So excited. All right, hopefully I will take video today. You guys know I suck at this. Ciao. Okay, and then Rhinebeck, the weekend of New York Sheep and Wool was a blur. I think most of you by now, if you are interested in watching Rhinebeck recap videos and haul videos have seen a plethora of them. So like I said, I'm not going to be doing a huge vlog slash haul video. I will show you things as I use them, but there are a couple of things that I did want to talk about and show you. So Thursday I drove up with my friend Joan, who is just Joan Knits on Instagram. We drove up the night before Needles Up so that way we could be there bright and early in the morning to help set up for Needles Up and to just not have to rush. And then we rented our house with, I think there were 14 of us in the house this year. Our house is the best house, if I don't say so myself. They're all great, but I love, love, love our house. I love my housemates. We have such a great time. It is super loud and super boisterous and so much fun. And 7 Victoria, to all of you who I rent that house with, I love you dearly. It was so much fun. I do want to show you. Okay, so Leanne, who is our fearless organizer slash captain of our Rhinebeck house, she is the mama hen. She makes sure that we get our house and we get everyone settled. It's a big job and she's the best, but she's also a designer and an artist who is just so great. She does a ton of stuff. She did my logo for Frame and Fiber. She's done logo work for Legacy Fiber Arts, for Denise, who is Earth Tones Girl, for Amy Beth the Fat Squirrel. She's done stuff for her own podcast with her sister Liz, the Cocktail Hour at the Coop. I feel like I'm missing someone, but anyway, she's also the 2019 winner of the Rhinebeck Artist Contest. So for 2019, all of the Rhinebeck merchandising will have her drawing on it, so look forward to that, guys. But this year, she did a drawing and had little prints made up for all of us. And so that's the house we rent, guys. And that's the front yard, and the backyard is just an incredible view of the mountains. How beautiful is this? That's going in a picture frame, and it's gonna live back there on that wall because that is an incredible memory. Or maybe I should put it in a knitty mat. Oh, maybe I will put it in a knitty mat. So thank you, Leanne. This is beautiful. So I did want to show you guys that. And then we do a Secret Sisters swap at our house. I forget what we get a $20 budget and we pick names on the Friday before, well, Friday night before Rhinebeck, and we pick names and we keep it quiet, hush hush. And then on Saturday when we're shopping, we buy a prize for our secret, what did we call it? Not secret, oh, secret cousins. Is that what we called it? Whatever. You know what I mean. You know what we do. So this year, Miss Debbie, Miss Purple Debbie, I believe she's Purple Debbie on the interwebs. Debbie, I forget what your screen name is. I'm going to have to look that up and put it down here. She bought me the cutest little tote bag or little notions pouch. Oops. Ooh. How stinking cute is this? I love it. A little zipper pull kills me. That's really cute like that, isn't it? Gosh, I should put that in a frame. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, so, and then the only other thing from Rhinebeck that I wanted to show you, really, I did buy enough from Rhinebeck, but I don't want to like show too much. And the reason why I'm showing this is because it's just so stinking pretty. All right, so when I was at Maryland in the spring, Maryland Sheep and Wool, I happened upon Tidal Yarns, naturally dyed and hand spun by the owner, Patricia Fortinsky. She is a pretty stinking cool lady, and I had to have this little kit. This is, let's see, Yo guys, those are hand spun. Oh snap. Hand dyed. Right? Like that's pretty stinking cool. And naturally dyed. This speaks to my heart. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I'm super excited. So there's 6 minis, there's 36 yards each. And the pattern that came with it is for that hat. So I definitely want to cast that on soon. I feel like this whole entire year I've bought so much yarn for hats and I've not cast on a single hat yet. I bought a ton of pom-poms for the shop, and if I don't get any hats done, how can I use pom-poms? So, beautiful. Will you guys please check her out, Patricia Fortinsky, Tidal Yarns. Tidal Yarns, oh here, I'll show you. TidalYarns.com. Oh, sorry, yeah, TidalYarns.com. I don't believe she's on Instagram or on any social media. So that might be hard, but she is a vendor at Maryland Sheep and Wool and New York Sheep and Wool. So check her out. It's incredible. If you like this, just natural beauty, natural colors, she's a great lady. So that's that. I wanted to I think instead of jumping right into the knitting right now, I'm going to go from the recap, Rhinebeck recap. Do I have any more video to show you? If there's more video, I'm popping it in right here.
I thought you were hugging me. I was like, aww. Hi. Hi.
We're heading to Rhinebeck. We're in the car.
It's day 1. Well, it's day 2, but day 1.
Well, today's Rhinebeck. Yesterday was Rhinebeck.
Yes, and it was neat. And we're ready. We have our stuff.
We have lots of pals in the car with us.
We do.
Here are the pals.
It's fine.
You know what? We're gonna live on.
Don't crash, Robin.
We're gonna live on.
We're excited. I will try to
Wild
take
side.
as much videos as I can. You guys know I suck at that.
I'm not good at it either in the moment.
Right, because I want to be in the moment.
Yes.
That's this
Totally.
one.
All right, this is Leanne, you guys. If you don't know her, this is Leanne from Cocktail Hour at the Coop. Woo!
Where's my pin? I do.
Oh. There it is, there it is.
What?
I talk about her and her sisters all the time. All right, see you there.
Peace out.
See you at Rhinebeck, guys.
Who's with Cat?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we could go.
We just had donuts. Amazing donuts. They were the best donuts. I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, there they are. They're right there. There's only a few left.
The first time both of my kids.
I'm a spoiled brat because this one,
7 weeks. The 2 of them.
and this one. Hi! And that one right there.
Oh, that one.
Wait, right there.
This one.
They waited in line and got donuts for me. Hold on, you're getting in here. For me. For that one.
Oh, we're the B team.
Hold on, I have to see where I'm looking. The B team. No, we are the B team, the brats.
We're the brats, the V team.
So we are the brats. These guys bought us donuts. Super spoiled. My lens is really dirty.
I know about the mustache.
It might have been Bernard. You are.
Smithers.
You know that.
So line starts here. Oh yeah. To here. To the donuts. All right, so this is a video. Okay.
That's funnier.
Okay.
I'm like adjusting my.
Okay, pals. We've got Annie here. We've got Liz Zimmerman. You all know who that is. We've got Al. I hope you know who that is.
Liz Zimmerman. One N. Only one N.
And those are the beautiful trees behind us.
So pretty.
Oh, that's good right there.
It's starting to rain.
And it's starting to rain. And it's the end of day 1 at Rhinebeck. And we are heading out, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go home and do show and tell.
And do noms.
And yum.
Yes.
But we had a great first day. And I'm so happy to have met 1,000 billion people today. It was so much fun. We will see you guys tomorrow on day 2. Woohoo! Okay, so this is the house. It's very loud. Lots of girls. We just gave our presents to each other and did our secret sister and also did show and tell. Wave. Cheers!
So your husband.
Yes.
Organizing a little bit more over here, and eventually, in just a minute, we're going to haul in all the parts.
I found Barbara at the front back. No New York Sheep involved.
They're suffering.
I love this person.
Went over, has been at the Duchess Candy Fair showing for about 12 years. This is a young guy. He's about 4. Still learning what it means and why we do these crazy things. This is Kid. He's about, I think, 2.5, 3 years old. And this is Toffee.
Paul Miller, you did a good job.
Did a good job what?
Renting a house.
Oh, because you thought I couldn't find a house?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was not funny.
It's very funny. This is our house. Over here is a lake. I don't see the, oh yeah, there's a heron. He's flying. I don't know if you can see him. No,
Green?
a heron, blue heron. Oh, the wood ducks aren't out. They were before. Paul Miller and I were watching them dive. So this is our yard. And that's the lake. And the canoe, and the satellite dish, and the picnic bench. There's the house. And there's the rest of the lake. It's pretty cool because it goes all the way around our house. We're on our little baby peninsula. And it's really pretty.
You want to go on the dock?
Okay. I'm not using my gimbal, babe. I love that it's snowing. Ooh, sorry about the bouncy footage, people. Wood ducks, we just scared them away. Can you guys see them? I don't know if you can see them.
I don't know if you can see this, but can you see the footprints
Oh my gosh, duck feet.
from the heron?
Oh, from the heron. Can you guys see those? Oh, it's really shallow over here.
It's really shallow.
But sandy.
Yeah. But sandy.
Oh, asshole. There's the footprints. That's pretty cool. Do you think it's sandy or mucky?
I don't know. You have to put your feet in.
So, this is where we are. And so far, it's pretty awesome. Would we come here again? Indeed-o. Indeed we would. Indeed. Paul Miller. Babe, you're getting snow on your shoulders. Yes, and not dandruff. But real snow.
Stop it. I use my head and shoulders.
All right then, off to the food store. Off to the food store. Hey, 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 pals. I am walking about. It is snowing. It's super exciting. Paul Miller and I are in, where are we? We're staying at a place called Chazy Lake in New York State. And we're up in the mountains, so it's snowing here. It's not snowing so much down off the mountain, but up here it is, so it's super fun and it's so pretty. And it's making us relax. We're just relaxing and knitting. Paul Miller's doing his computer stuff, whatever that might be. Yeah, just knitting and cooking, napping, and making fires. It's so nice. So I'm heading back to the house after my walk, and yeah, I'll do a little walkabout, show you the space, or not the space, but where we're staying, and it's really cool. I am loving it. That's our driveway. And it's just so good to not have much on the agenda and to just relax. So I'm gonna head back into the house and curl up next to the fireplace and do some knitting, and that's about all. Babe?
Yeah.
It is snowing.
Is that exciting?
Yes.
Are you filming me right now?
Yes.
Even though I look like garbage?
Baby, you don't look like garbage.
I look like garbage. Oh, it's nappy time.
Snappy time?
Nappy time.
Alright. Babe, what were you doing on your computer?
Working on a Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi?
Yeah.
Sorry, on his little couch.
Stop it. I'm so embarrassed.
Babe, I love how you take the small couch and leave the big couch for me.
Because I love you.
Thanks, babe. Thanks for the pretty fire. Oh, man. Guys, this is the best. Look, y'all. There's Paul Miller. He's setting up his hammock. And then we're gonna head out. So, back to reality we go. Okay, so now that we're done with Rhinebeck, I think I am gonna talk about the rest of my acquisitions, because the Tidal Yarns is an acquisition. And I won, well, I bought and won, so crinkling, sorry, crinkle alert. So back in September or October, the Toad Hollow ladies and the Dogstar Knits podcast they did their book club. They were reading The Night Circus. Oh, sorry, it's so loud. By Erin Morgenstern. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, it's fabulous. I would recommend reading the book and listening to the book, because the book is narrated by Jim Dale. I first heard about the book from Miss Christy Glass, who gave me the book. I don't know where I put it. And then these two ladies, Helen and Mary Beth, were raving about how much they love this book. And one of those three girls mentioned to me that Jim Dale read it. And Jim Dale's the narrator for all the Harry Potter books, which I love so much. So he reads this book, and it's just such a cool book. It's a very visual book, which lends itself to these hand dyers who were inspired to host this together and then to do a special, I guess, kit of yarns that they were inspired by the book. And so first I want to show you the Toad Hollow yarns that I bought from them. This was their kit. So we've got, from left to right, we've got the Circus of Dreams, the Wishing Tree, a gift from Chandresh, the Carousel, and Open What Is Closed. beautiful colors. And then the full skein that goes with this set is Tsukiko's Cloak. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these beautiful colorways, but I definitely want to do something. So they did this club with the Dogstar Knits, who then dyed their own, or his own, Jake the Dyer. He dyed his own interpretation of the book, and he did one skein. So what was kind of cool was both of them on their separate podcasts gave away each other's yarn. I think that's how it went. You had to answer a question about the book, and I answered a question and I won. I won the Dogstar Knits skein, which I'm glad I saw the episode that they announced I won this when I did, because that day I was talking to Paul Miller and I was like, I think I'm gonna go see if there's any more of that yarn left from Dogstar, because this colorway is my jam. Oops, let's see. Let's get that. Yes, it's a very cool logo. But the different variegated grays with the splotches of red is, oh my gosh, that's me right there. So I absolutely love this, and I love this. So that's a stash enhancement. Super excited. These will probably be socks, and I think the Toad Hollow yarns will most likely be a shawl. What I will make, I'm not too sure, but something will happen. Okay, and then this is, I think it's considered a stash enhancement or an acquisition, but it was a gift. And this was a gift. I got this at Rhinebeck from Emily, who is the dyer behind Woolfiend Yarn and Fibers. So there is, oops, let's do it with the business card. You will fall in love with her yarns. Her feed is so beautiful, so beautiful. And she is, we met for the first time at Rhinebeck this year, which is so fun because I got to meet her before she comes to the shop for her trunk show, which again is in December 15th actually. So this is on her merino single space, and the colorway is called Demure. And I'm just going to take the band off so you can see the speckly beautiful greens and purples. Again, this is my jam too. So what will I do with this? I don't know. This could make its way into a shawl as well. Yeah, so please go ahead and follow her on Instagram and fall in love with her. And then when you are around on, no, if you are around on November, nope, damn it. If you are around on December 15th, stop by the shop and visit and see her beautiful yarn. Is there anything else I wanted to show you from Emily? I feel like there was. She dyed up for, the Dungeons and Drop Stitches podcast. Oh, I think it's right here. Yeah, here it is. Wow. Sorry. So there is the Dungeons and Drop Stitches logo. And Emily dyed up these little mini skeins. How cool is that? Is that the perfect representation or what? So yeah, check that out. That is a podcast here on the YouTubes. It is hosted by Melissa, who is Skenanigans on Instagram. So give her a check. Give her a check. Give her a look. Give her a look-see. Okay. All right, and my final acquisition that I wanted to share with you is one that I bought a while ago, and I kept forgetting to show it to you guys because, well, anyway, for various reasons. But this is the Sling Tote. It's the Maker's Merch Sling Tote. It is a lovely, beautifully made sling tote for me, for walking on the boardwalk while I'm knitting. I like to knit on the boardwalk. It's the only place I can knit and walk at the same time. But it's kind of nice. It gets you outside, it gets you knitting and moving all at the same time. So Makers Merch is a company owned by Marce and Kelly. So both of them are here on YouTube as the Celtic Cast On podcast and the Hey Brown Berry podcast. And you can find them on Instagram as Hey Brown Berry and Celtic Cast On. So yeah, this is, and I believe that the bag itself was made by Twisted Daisy Fibers, which, gosh, it's such a lovely construction. The bag is incredibly, like, this is gonna last forever. The fabric, I wish you could feel it. Beautiful, beautiful construction, and I'm excited to own this, and I cannot wait to use it. Now that I've showed it to you, I'm going to use it. I didn't want to use it until I was able to show you it. It's like in such pristine shape. It's beautiful. So check out Makers Merch. It is the collaboration between Marce and Kelly. It's just lovely. They have pins for sale. They have they collaborate with other makers to bring really well-made quality quality made products to our making community. So it's really fun to support the makers in this beautiful community. I just said that 3 times in a row. I love to repeat myself, don't I? Alright, so that is it as far as acquisitions and recaps and all of that good stuff. So I do want to talk about, it's kind of an acquisition, but not really. So I was watching, I forget what episode it was of the Fat Squirrel Speaks, but Amy Beth was talking about sending off some yarn to Freckled Whimsy to have her knit up some sock tubes on her sock machine. And so as Amy Beth was talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, because I have so many pairs of socks planned that most likely I won't be able to knit them all in my lifetime. That's a little bit drastic, but I just wouldn't be able to get to for a long time, let's put it that way. And some of them were ones that I wanted to give as gifts, or I don't know, like it was a lot of yarn. Or not, I sent off 6 skeins. Freckled Whimsy had a special that if you bought 5 tubes, if you had 5 tubes made, that she would do the 6th for free. So I sent them off, and I sent off some yarn that I had in stash. Oh, just dropped it all. Crinkly, crinkly, plasticky sound. It's coming your way. So these I've had for a while, and I again, like, they were something where I knew I wanted to make socks with them. So I had tubes made, and the fun part is I get to do heels, toes, and cuffs, which I don't know about you guys, but those are the parts that I like the best about the sock, unless I'm doing, you know, a pattern. But I keep burping. For these socks, I knew I wanted plain vanilla because they're mostly striped. So this is an Into the World colorway. Oops, upside down. And so Carrie, let me show you this, of Freckled Whimsy, cranked these on her sock machine. She has a fancy sock machine. It's the Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster. So I have an Into the World, and she saved me, you can see here, there's a mini that I asked her to save me 20 grams to be able to do the heels, toes, and cuffs. This is another Into the World. And then I have a Lolo Did It. You guys don't really care about all of these, so I'm not going to show them all to you. I'm going to drop them. They all fell anyway, so I can't show them to you. Ah! So this is a cozy knitter that I had in stash. This is her Huga colorway. And so this is the blank. Not the blank. It's not a sock blank. It's a tube. It's a tube. I had her knit these at a 9 stitch. I think it was either 9 or 8 stitches per inch. I'm about 9 stitches per inch on a size 0 needle. So I have, don't know where I put it. Oh, I think it's right here. Oh yes, I'm good. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, there it is. No, that's not it. This is it. Sorry. So when I bought this set, it was a sock set and it came with this mini. So I will cut in my heels and my toes and do the cuffs. And most likely this will be a gift. So, oh, not these. Actually, strike that. I'm keeping these. Definitely keeping these for myself. But yeah, so Freckled Whimsy. Check out Carrie's information. I just dropped them all, so I can't read it to you. I'll put it down the bottom. Freckled Whimsy. I'm assuming if you're a podcast watcher, you've heard of Freckled Whimsy. But Carrie does have a service that you can send your yarn to her and she will crank out sock tubes for you. So check out her website. I believe it was on her website. She has it listed on all the different services and the ways she can do it for you. But it's worth it if you have so much sock yarn. You can only knit well, for me, I can't knit that many socks. So yeah, instead of, you know, of course I dream of having a sock machine, but a knitting machine in general, but I don't have the money to shell out for a knitting machine because I wouldn't get my money's worth out of it, because I definitely wouldn't be using it as often as, you know, she's made her sock machine into a part of her business. I mean, she's a dyer, so this just helps her with samples. So it's pretty cool that she's offering this service. It's totally worth it in my opinion, and you guys should check her out. Okay, so knitting. I showed you the little hat, so I don't have to talk about that. That is one of my finished objects of, geez Louise, I'm dropping everything. Holy mackerel. My tea is cold. That's how I know I've been talking way too long, is my tea is cold. Okay, so the first sweater I want to talk to you guys about, I'm knitting 2 sweaters at a time. And this one has come out. Do I have my swatch with me? Please say I have my swatch. Yes. Okay. So this is, let me get the front page of the pattern so I can show it to you. So I am knitting the Bodie cardigan. It is a pattern by Elizabeth Doherty. What is she called? Blue Bee Studios? Elizabeth Doherty. I think that picture is so pretty. So on my vacation, I swatched for my Bodie. So here's my swatch. It's so pretty. It's a Guernsey style cardigan. It has it's an oversized cardigan. It's meant to be worn like an outer garment. So, you know, wearing something underneath it for sure. They even, depending on the gauge and the sizes you choose, it could even be like a kind of like a jacket, like you could wear it outside. It is an open front cardigan with a brioche shawl collar. Shawl collar, is that what we call this? Maybe I'm calling it the wrong thing. What does she call it? Yeah, shawl collar. Woohoo! Got it. So it's luxurious brioche shawl collar, integrated pockets. This cardi will keep you snug all season long. Yeah, let's see. Moderate positive ease for a traditional cardigan fit, or with more ease to wear as a generous sweater coat. Works seamlessly from the top down with a modern drop shoulder construction. Bodie offers a great fit with minimal finish. That's what it looks like with her standing up. So it's really pretty. I think this is going to be a fun knit. I've already started it. So like I said, this is my swatch. Did I get gauge? So the thing with this pattern, the reason why she has you swatch with 1, 2, 3, 4 different all the four different stitch patterns is because they don't all have the same gauge using the same needle. So you really kind of have to figure out where you are in it. And the closest I could get to gauge was, I think she calls for 20 stitches. Where's my swatch? It's cool. She has a whole sheet just on swatching for the Bodie. So I think that's cool. I guess it could be intimidating, but it's not. It's just she gives you the information to help you get through the swatching. All of the stitch patterns, she has you shooting for a 20 stitches over 4 inches for the gauge. And the row gauge is a little bit different between all of them. So the closest I could get to gauge was 21 stitches to 4 inches. So that's about 1/4 of a stitch off. So doing my math, I kind of figured out how big I would be for my size. So I went down a size, I went up a size. What did I do? I went up a size. Okay, went up a size. Yes, I went up a size. So I'm using my gauge, which is 21 stitches to 4 inches, or 5.25 stitches per inch, and she gets 5. So it was a little bit off, but I like the fabric that I like the way this feels, and I didn't want this to change too much more. I thought if I went any tighter, well, I couldn't go any tighter, but any looser, it just would have been too open, and I don't think that's the purpose of the Bodie cardigan. So we're going with it. And I've started. So this is going to be a video coming up pretty soon. I'm going to videotape this. So this is the back. This is starting at the top shoulders, the neck. You are not gonna be able to see that. So this is going to sit at the top, and then this is where the shoulders kind of connect, and then this is just working down the body. So that is my pattern so far. It's so lovely, but I realized, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, it's not that easy to find. I guess I could leave this mistake because it's not, well, no, you can see it. I can see it. So right there, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. That was those slip stitches. I was supposed to slip those stitches with the yarn in the back, and I did it in the front. So I'm not going to re-knit because that's like 2 inches of knitting. I mean, I guess I could rip it out, but I thought it would make a fun video to drop down and fix them that way. So I'm going to do a video of me dropping down and repairing those pieces right there. That'll be coming up soon. So I put my Bodie, until I make that, it's funny, like I just want to fix this, and move on because I'm having a really fun time knitting this. But I think it would be a really good video to do. So I need to get that done so I can start knitting on this again. I am using Luna Gray Fiber Arts. Oh, it's right up there. That's my sweaters quantity for my Bodie right up there. So I am using Luna Gray Fiber Arts. This yarn is, and this company is owned by and dyed by Jackie, who lives in Grand Junction, Colorado. She is friends with Allison. When Allison lived in Colorado, they knew each other. You can check out her company at lunagrayfiberarts.com. This is her Nova worsted base. It is 100% merino wool, non-superwash. So it is a hand wash only. It is a squishy, squishy yarn. Jackie's dyeing aesthetic is pleasing to me. She does have some very variegated yarns, but a lot of them are tonal colorways. This looks like it's in the colorway Honeycomb. So I think you can see the variation there in the color. It's just so subtle. I mean, you really have to be looking at it to see the difference, but I think in the sweater it's going to be incredible. So I'm excited and I can't wait. So I sell this in my shop. So if you are interested in checking out Luna Gray in person, stop in and see it. It's going to be an incredible sweater. Incredible. Let me know what sweaters you guys are working on now, because I'm always looking for some more inspiration. Are any of you making the Bodie cardigan? Because I think a couple of my friends are. I know Just Joan is going to be swatching for this very soon. And someone else is making this. Oh, my friend Carol. Carol's making it. So this will be fun. There'll be 3 of us making the Bodie together. And I was just wondering if any of you are making it. And if you aren't, go check it out. Maybe you'll want to make it. My Bodie cardigan is living in my Daisy Lane design bag that she made for me. This bag it's a small bag, so once it grows out of this bag, it will have to go into a different bag. Oh look, cocktail hour at the Coop. So it's living in this Daisy Lane design bag. This is part of a bag set that she makes. It comes with a big tote. It comes with this project bag, and it comes with a notions bag, a needle case, and a I think there's a smaller version of this. So really cool. I can't remember because she gave it to me a couple years ago. All right, so that's the Bodie. So in my new Fat Squirrel project bag, look at it. I love that fabric. So living in this bag is my Vintersol sweater, written by Jennifer Steingass. I've always admired the Jennifer Steingass patterns that I see on Ravelry and on Instagram, everyone working on her stuff. This is the one that I'm making. Vintersol, or Vintersol, however you want to say it. Oh, ouch, ouch. Jennifer Steingass. So anyway, back to why I'm making this one. So again, I've always admired her designs. They're just so lovely. They're traditional with a twist. I don't think they're, you know, I don't know. There's just something fresh and new about her designs that I think are so pretty. And Ellie, who is the host of the Skiing Deer Knits podcast, is, if anyone doesn't know, which I'm sure everyone knows, she's like the colorwork queen. She is the sweater making queen. And she cast on, and I'm sure she's done a billion of them by now, but her first Jennifer Steingass project, and I don't remember what pattern it was, but I remember her raving about how well written that pattern was, and that like she had no negative, nothing to critique about the way that it was written. And I was like, and not that Ellie's like overly critical by any means, but she'll tell you if she thinks a pattern should have been, you know, it just was confusing or should have been changed or whatever. She gives her opinions. And this one, she just couldn't stop raving about how well written it was. So I was like, well, that kind of made Jennifer Steingass seem even more attractive to me, because Jennifer, you're so attractive. So I cast this on when I was on vacation, right after Rhinebeck, and I would have had more done, except that dummy me went on vacation and only took 3 skeins of yarn with me. So I had it calls for 3 colors for this pattern. I took 1 of each color, and then I didn't have any more. So I couldn't finish the color work all the way, and I just, whatever, big old dummy. Here we go. There she is. Okay, so lots to say. Ellie is 100% right. I officially now know that whatever Ellie says, like, I will definitely take her criticism of things to heart, because she was right. This pattern is fabulous, and I've had to make modifications, not because the pattern is not well written. It's because my body is shaped differently than well, all of our bodies are shaped different than all other bodies, but I wanted to make it fit my body specifically. So I did have to make some changes, but the changes weren't to the pattern. It was just, you know, for example, where I would put my waist decreases and changing the size of the or the circumference of the bust to match my bust and not the rest of me. So how am I trying to say this? I took a class at Vogue last year with Amy Herzog, and it was more of a lecture class than an actual workshop. And she was just talking about sweater construction, measuring for sweaters, gauging, swatching, blah, 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 blah. It was an incredibly edifying class. I learned so much just from listening to her talk about it. And I think one of the big things that I took away from her class or her talk was measuring for my bust and matching it to I think I've talked about this before. So if I'm repeating myself, I'm so sorry, but it's like one of those little tidbits of knowledge that blew my mind and it changed the way I knit. I have a larger bust than body. Like it's not, I don't know what proportional is. I have no idea. So I have no idea what I'm even talking about. But anyway, this part is bigger than this part, right? So my shoulders, if we're going to use traditional sizing, my shoulders would be a medium. My bust is an extra large. So that said, if I measure everything from my bust circumference, my chest circumference, everything else is going to be matched to the size. So the shoulder, the back, the length, the armhole, all of that is going to be bigger than what the rest of me is. So what I did, and what Amy Herzog explained, was I took my measurement not across the largest part of my bust, but above my bust, up on my actual chest, my bone, and under my armpits, and then around my back. And that size is where I pick all of my measurements from a pattern, except for the bust part that I will increase to. But the rest of it is I make it for the smaller sizes. I took a ton of measurements. Miller and I on vacation, I was like, okay, that's it. Paul Miller, we're measuring every aspect of my body. So I think I looked up, and I'll have to find out where I found this because it was pretty valuable. It wasn't a knitting blog, it was a sewing blog, but it had all of the parts of your body to measure, like the different what to what and how to where, all that kind of stuff. And I filled that in. I have a little chart now in my journal that I keep that's my body. And so I went through the pattern schematics and circled, you know, I'm just going to read this because every pattern has a schematic, right? So I went through and measured or circled what sizes I am based on my body measurements. You know, so I added the amount of ease that I wanted to that size and then circled the size on the schematic. So for instance, my chest circumference is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th size. My waist circumference is 1, 2, 3, the 4th size. My hips goes back up to my 5th size. My lower sleeve circumference, which is that? Oh, that's down here. I think it's right here, is the 2nd size. My upper sleeve is the 2nd size. My yoke depth is the 3rd size. Like, so I'm really short-waisted. So it was kind of cool, like if you measure your body and then look on the schematics to see all of the different measurements of that sweater to see where your body fits, you can kind of get an idea of your shape. Like I realized I'm pretty much like an orange on a toothpick. Do you guys know that reference? Because if you do, if you know that reference, an orange on a toothpick, comment below or send me a note, because if you do, you might just get a prize. One of my favorite movies. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of realized, I'm like, oh, so I'm bigger here and my hips are definitely bigger. I am, whatever, who cares? It's how I'm shaped. But you kind of get an idea of where you fall on the patterns, and to see, oh, okay, that's not necessarily, I'm not a box, I'm not square, I'm not small, I'm not slender, so I have a lot of curves to work on. And so I circled these, and then I went through the pattern before I cast on and did some math to figure out, okay, so if I need to get from the 4th size here to the 5th size here, how many stitches is that, and how do I increase to that? I also then did, so I had to increase a lot for this, not increase a lot, I just had to increase a little bit more than this size to get to this size. When I broke for the sleeves, or separated for the sleeves, I heard Ellie talk about this on one of her podcasts when she was doing a yoke. She doesn't necessarily, depending on the pattern, split it in the mid. So, you know, a yoke is a circle. Do I have a circle here? So here's your circle. That's your yoke. A lot of the patterns, including Jennifer Steingass, have you splitting your sleeves right in the middle of the circle. Now that's great if your front and your back are proportionate, but mine are not. My front is a whole lot bigger than the back. So to break, or to separate for the sleeves so that my arms aren't forced in a weird spot and I don't get pulling in the fabric, I took my oh my gosh, this I can't speak in English. I took my sleeves and I just kind of shifted them back a little. So if this is the front of the yoke, like if I do this, that's the front. So this is the front of my sweater and this is the back. By just moving these, and I think I only moved them I got it gauged perfectly with this pattern. And so I think it was 4 stitches to the inch or 4.5, I can't remember. But I moved them basically so it was 1 inch on both sides. And so my back is 2 inches smaller than my front, which is perfect because now it's giving me just that little bit more here. I still needed the bigger size because there's more space, but I needed to proportion out the to lay out. I'm not good with vocabulary, but I had to move my sleeves. So my sleeves are back just a little. So like if you're looking at the side, right, this is the center and this is the front, my boobs, this is my back. My arms are back here more because my back is a lot smaller. That might, like if you measure from right underneath my arm. So I've got such big boobs that my boobs really, they're like under my armpits as well. And so if you kind of, not that you're going to feel this, but if you can feel where my underwire stops and measure back, it's a lot smaller back here than it is here. And so if I don't make those changes, which I didn't make those changes with the last sweater that I made, which was my Isabel Kramer Ready for Fall. And I ended up steeking that because I just didn't feel comfortable in it. And steeking it, although I love that I steeked it and it's a cardigan, it didn't solve the problem because it's still really big in my back. So now I've learned. I'm learning. So any other thing? Oh, so, okay. And then I had to decrease for the waist shaping. And again, a lot of times you'll just go, in most sweaters, you'll decrease and you'll go right from the armhole, right underneath there. But because I have more space at the front than I do the back, which you can kind of see it there, there's more on this side than there is on this side. You can see that the sleeve is back further. So but because you'd want to go directly down from the sleeve, I kind of shifted this to go under my, from not under my arm, but under, closer to the side, like in between my chest and my arm. So it's like, instead of going under the arm, it's shifted six stitches this way, and it's here. And then when I increase for the hips, I move it back to center. So those modifications are fitting my body very well. All that to say, I am really having fun knitting this sweater, and I'm super excited because it's fitting me great. So I think in the last episode, when I was, maybe, or the episode before that, I talked about how my body's not made for pullover sweaters, or my body's not made for sweaters that are made with thicker yarn. And I realized, no, that's not true. I've just been wearing sweaters that aren't shaped for me. So I'm sure I have a lot still of ways to go in learning construction in sweaters and how to make them fit, but I just love this sweater. This pattern is just gorgeous. Do you see that? And I love my colors. I love everything about this sweater. I am using, so these are all yarns that I sell at the shop. The blue and brown, it's Navia Trio. This is a yarn that I didn't know anything about until my trip to London, when I met with Ellie and we went to knit night at Wild and Woolly, and I bought my first 2 skeins of Navia there, and I made mittens with them. So yeah, I discovered that yarn in London on my London trip. That was one of my prizes to myself, was a pair of mittens made with the yarn that Ellie made her patterns with. And so I think it was this year, Kelborn Woolens, which is a lovely yarn distributor, they started carrying Navia and Roma yarns, and so I got Navia for my shop. And it's a lovely, lovely yarn. It is from, it's from the Faroe Islands. I forget where it comes from. And then the kind of heathery oatmeal color is a Cascade 220, which I also sell in my store. So this is a worsted weight yarn, or no, it's not, it's DK. These are DK weights. And I just finished my increases for the hips, and now I will just, I think I only have maybe a few more rounds of this oatmeal color, and then I'll do the colorwork band, and then on to Sleeve Island. I'm so excited about this sweater. Yay! Isn't that pretty too? Just to point that out, the I-cord collar. It's really pretty. Oh, so pretty. I think that's all I have to say about that. That was a lot of saying, wasn't it? A lot of talking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's my knitting. I am pretty much just working on those 2 sweaters and making baby hats. I have other whips on the needles, but right now I'm just so in love with knitting on my sweaters that that's pretty much all that I'm doing. All right, I think that's it. So I will leave it here, and I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and happy making to you guys. Bye.
Oh shit!
I'm rambling.
You're cute.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, welcome to my